La N64 marque pour Nintendo déplorait le manque de titres.
Je suis crédité en tant que directeur sur Mario, et je peux vous dire que le travail était...
Malgré tous les titres en démonstration, la star Nintendo 64 était Mario, avec une version à moitié finie du nouveau jeu de plateforme basé sur ce personnage légendaire. Le jeu est tout en 3D. L'esprit plateforme a été teinté d'aventure puisque vous pouvez diriger Mario où bon vous semble. Le monde paraît immense, mais pas de panique. Nintendo n'a pas oublié l'action avec des descentes en 3D, des séquences sous-marines, des combats avec des boss, pour passer d'un monde à l'autre dans des séquences féeriques. Pour la troisième fois après la NES et la Super NES, Nintendo compte sur Mario pour rattraper son retard d'1 an sur ses concurrents. À vous de décider si ça va marcher. Obsolète. Quant à la Nintendo 64, that is the question. À en juger les premières images, le Mario 64 est toujours d'actualité. Mais rien ne nous dit que cette nouvelle version en 3D, très attendue, surpassera les précédentes versions sur 16 bits et surtout contentera le joueur. Aujourd'hui, le nouvel argument de vente, c'est la 3D. Mais qu'on ne nous raconte pas d'histoire. L'important, c'est quand même le jeu lui-même, non ? Sur Game Boy, NES, Super Nintendo ou Ultra 64. C'est désormais une coutume. Comme les œufs de Pâques qui reviennent chaque année, les œufs de Mario reviennent.
Alors que Sega et Sony se sont mis à table depuis un bon moment et se...
64 a toute image inédite pour présenter la nouvelle reine du polygone. Sans oublier...
And Super Mario 64, and both were supposed to be the official launch.
I've been waiting over a year to get my hands on this new console, and now I have. All I've got to do is work out how to play it. The controller.
So here it is, Super Mario 64. And yes, you are watching the game screen. Amazingly, this is not a rendered graphics demo. It's what you get when you play the game. The images are detailed, smooth, and easily superior to anything currently available. What's even more astounding is that Super Mario 64 is a genuine three-dimensional platformer, because you can take the little plumber just about anywhere you want to go within this graphic world. Inside the main room in the castle are several doors that lead you off into the different game areas. This is a beautiful underwater level, and as you swim around, you start to appreciate just how different the game is. You really feel as though you're free to explore the entire area. I've never before played a game with such a rich 3D environment where you can choose your view and have complete control over where you go. Forget your rock-hard beat-em-ups and rubber-burning races. Super Mario 64 is a launch game that doesn't take itself too seriously.
And then, of course, there's the Ultra 64. Some of its most promising games are updates of classic SNES titles, like the stunningly 3D Mario 64.
It is the most powerful games machine in the world. It has a new controller that offers a different gaming experience, and it promises next-generation versions of some of the most popular titles ever. It's Nintendo's Ultra 64, and it was unveiled last week at the Shinki Show in Tokyo, along with demos of 13 games in development, and here exclusively for the first time on TV, all 13 of them. Super Mario 64. The wee mustachio guy goes all 3D on us. This Pamela Anderson of a console is due for release next spring with a target price of 200 quid. 4 controller ports come as standard on the machine, but perhaps the most interesting aspect of the hardware is the controller itself. An obvious innovation is the central 60-degree movement. It also controls the speed of the character, both essential tools for negotiating the next generation of 3D games. And because it's all 3D, different views can be chosen by pressing any of the 4 yellow buttons. Only 50% complete, Super Mario 64 showed all the hallmarks of being an instant classic. The opening screen gives some idea of what's in store, featuring a fully rendered Mario head that players can manipulate in real time. Ooh, hours of fun there, I'll bet. Games journalist Gus Swan was one of the lucky few to have a go.
Mario 64 is quite a departure from Mario games in terms of gameplay, just by the virtue of it being in 3D. But it's not so different that you won't recognise the style and movement and the type of actions you're expected to perform. The bit that caught everyone's imagination and really made people happy about the machine was the Bowser boss. Just the speed of the graphics and the ingenuity of the effect was really quite different to what we've seen before in a platform game. One of its most striking graphical effects is the ability to take objects, polygon objects, close to the player without them becoming pixelated and blocky, as many players will be familiar with on other platforms. The stage we saw at the game, it was said to be 50% complete, and that perhaps explained why the levels were more sparse, and there wasn't any levels where you were panicked with the amount of enemies or terrible jumps that you had to overcome. The size of the game may be up to 150 stages, and from what we've played of them already, it looks as if it's going to be extremely playable, with lots of hidden features as you progress. So I don't have any doubts it'll be a great game.
Well, this is an unexpected addition to our chart because Mario 64 isn't even out yet, but already it is being heralded as a game that could reshape the way the industry thinks. The Ultra 64 is the only machine that could possibly throw a shadow over the rise of the Saturn and the PlayStation this Christmas. And Nintendo have been very brave. They've used Mario, their main icon. Even Sega didn't dare use Sonic in their early next-generation games. The game itself is notable, is not an arcade conversion. It's actually a whole new game being developed specifically for playing in your front room and emphasizes Nintendo's target, which is the family unit.
Sim, amigos, ele está chegando, o Nintendo Ultra 64. Com previsão para lançamento no Japão no dia 21 de abril, nós aqui no Star Game já damos uma prévia do que esse console maravilhoso será capaz de fazer. O jogo que vocês estão vendo é o Super Mario 64, o primeiro jogo do Mario para o Ultra. Para ver imagens de alguns outros jogos do Ultra 64 aqui no Star Game, calma, vocês ainda vão ter que esperar um pouquinho. Afinal, não é assim todo dia que a gente vê um Ultra 64 assim de bandeja, né? Aproveitem para babar sobre essas imagens do Super Mario 64. O jogo é 3D. 3D mesmo. Graças à capacidade do Ultra 64 e também ao seu controle inovador, você pode mexer com o nosso amigo bombeiro para todos os lados. Olha aí o controle. O Game News de hoje é um perfil sobre o Ultra 64, produzido pela Nintendo com a Silicon Graphics, responsável pelos dinossauros de Jurassic Park. Com um processador com chip R4000 muito potente, clock de 93 MHz, memória interna de 4,5 MB e 32 milhões de cores, o Ultra 64 vai chegar para ficar!
Speaking of turtles, you're looking at the new Super Mario game for Nintendo's Ultra 64. The attention to detail is fantastic, and you feel like you're right in the action. Nintendo showed off the new Mario game and the Ultra 64 at its show in Shoshinkai, Japan. People lined up to try out the new machine with its revolutionary new control pad. The controller comes in 4 colors, and it's especially designed for 3D games. Nintendo's Ultra 64
C'est à peu près ça. Alors que Sega et Sony se sont mis à table, depuis, le problème c'est que la sortie de l'Ultra 64 n'est prévue au Japon que pour le 23 juin et aux États-Unis pour le 21 septembre. Autant dire que chez nous, la bête ne devrait pas pointer le bout de son museau avant la rentrée, au mieux. Et encore, les plus pessimistes craignent qu'elle ne soit même pas sur les rayons pour Noël prochain. Pour un amateur de jeux vidéo, attendre jusque-là, c'est plus de la patience, c'est de l'héroïsme.